Have you ever truly realized that authentic success in your business and career can be precisely explained by the same fundamental laws that govern the entire universe? We often incorrectly assume that tangible results are driven by sheer luck or random chance, when in reality, everything is strictly subject to the unforgiving laws of energy and entropy that affect all systems. The concept of the physics of success teaches that every single organization is an open system that must actively manage its input, its output, and most critically, its internal disorder. Mastering these few physical laws is the definitive key to predicting whether your business will achieve exponential growth or gradually decline from internal friction that is its internal disorder. Research demonstrates that the most valuable energy in business is not capital, but the collective attention and emotional state intentionally invested by your entire team every single day. Understanding that energy can only be transformed, never created or destroyed, will radically change how you perceive effort and strategic business planning forever. What is the single most common type of internal friction that silently kills momentum and consumes 80% of your team's available energy? I will be dissecting this insidious source of entropy in the middle section of this video. I personally spent years stuck in middle management where every day felt like desperately pushing a stalled car up a steep hill, constantly filled with friction and yielding no measurable progress. I used to blame external market competition or insufficient capital, when the underlying problem was actually internal energy leakage caused by unresolved conflicts between departments. I quickly realized our team possessed abundant resources, but the second law of thermodynamics, entropy, was relentlessly at work, gradually creating visible chaos and unrecognized organizational inefficiency. Perhaps you also recognize this dilemma, where you employ exceptionally intelligent people but their measurable output never remotely matches the incredible potential they possess. Applying these few principles of physics taught me that genuine leadership is fundamentally about managing the flow and intrinsic quality of energy, not coercively controlling people like rigid machines. We will explore how neurofinance conclusively proves that emotional energy is the most easily leaked financial resource in any modern company. The central conflict in organizational energy management is the common failure to fully grasp the first law of thermodynamics, conservation of energy, which applies strictly to your organizational resources. This law states that the total energy within an isolated system, your company, always remains constant. Energy can neither be created from nothing nor destroyed, but only efficiently converted from one form to another. In a business context, this means you cannot realistically generate high output without a proportional input of relevant energy, for example, capital, focus time, or dedicated motivation. Many leaders mistakenly attempt to generate more and more results without intentionally investing sufficient new and relevant energy, inevitably resulting in predictable burnout and widespread employee depression. The effort you expend is never truly lost, but if poorly directed, that effort converts into useless forms of energy, such as frustrating internal tension that drains the system. Therefore, your first critical task is rigorously auditing all energy input to ensure you are not futilely trying to create results from a vacuum of resources. The only viable solution derived from the law of conservation of energy is a constant focus on energy conversion efficiency within every single work process across the organization. Efficiency is defined as the exact ratio between the useful energy input invested and the useful output energy successfully generated by the system over time. If the energy you input, time spent in meetings, capital deployed, converts into very little functional output, that clearly signals a profoundly inefficient and wasteful process that needs fixing. Ensuring optimal resource allocation, such as consciously investing energy into areas yielding the greatest return, for example, core innovation or superior customer service, is crucial for efficiency gains. Minimizing internal energy waste, whether through unnecessary meetings or repeated rework loops, directly increases the total usable energy available for market growth and expansion. The true key to sustainable success is becoming a meticulous energy manager, not merely a rigid time scheduler. The invisible, destructive force that silently kills business momentum is entropy, precisely defined by the second law of thermodynamics as the universal tendency of all systems to naturally move toward a state of greater internal chaos, disorder, and costly inefficiency. Within an organization, entropy manifests as pervasive disorder, persistent team conflicts, rigid bureaucracy, flawed internal communication, and unrecognized wasteful habits. This specific type of internal friction that secretly kills momentum, which I promised earlier, is chronic team conflict and pervasive distrust. This internal conflict constantly consumes the vast majority of available energy that should be dedicated to market growth and innovation, prioritizing internal system maintenance instead. If you do not actively and consistently invest organizational energy in integration, the opposite of entropy, your organization will slowly but surely degrade and fail from the inside out, regardless of reported external profits. Entropy is the relentless, natural enemy of high, stable, and sustainable organizational performance. The necessary solution to actively combat the relentless force of entropy is continuous investment in integration, which involves deliberate actions to create internal order, deep trust, and functional cohesion among all teams. Integration successfully aligns values, goals, and communication processes across departments, ensuring that all parts of the system are efficiently working toward the same output with minimal destructive noise. Leaders must consistently invest energy in transparent communication rituals, building profound team trust, and proactively resolving internal conflicts, all of which function as vital anti-entropy mechanisms. Managing entropy means clearly understanding that the most valuable energy must be allocated to minimizing internal friction first, ensuring that all remaining available energy can be directed toward market growth and external expansion. Low entropy successfully creates an internal environment where creativity, rapid decision-making, and superior collaboration can flourish at incredible speed. Entropy within teams is dramatically accelerated by the psychological phenomenon called emotional contagion, strongly supported by organizational neuroscience research. Negative emotions, for example, manager stress, employee frustration, are automatically transferred among team members through nonverbal cues and mirror neurons, collectively increasing internal emotional chaos. This negative contagion dramatically raises the collective entropy level, causing the organization's energy to be locked in a state of chronic anxiety and perpetual internal conflict. A leader who consciously emits calm and positive energy serves as the essential anchor of integration, intentionally spreading a mood that powerfully supports high performance and indispensable team cohesion. Understanding that mood is a transferable energy output confirms that emotional leadership is a critical physics-based skill in business management. Emotional management is fundamentally the most effective form of entropy management in the workplace. Imagine the energy in your organization as two objects, one hot, high motivation, and one cold, conflict and burnout. The second law dictates that the hot energy will naturally flow into the cold object until a state of useless, lukewarm equilibrium is reached. The leader's core job is to constantly supply new hot energy, motivation, clear vision, sincere appreciation from the external environment into the struggling team, rather than trying to forcefully extract energy from the already depleted internal system. Conflict arises when management tries to extract energy from a system that is already cold, which only accelerates the increase of irreversible entropy and internal disorder. You must consciously create a system where the input of positive energy, integration, always exceeds the output of negative energy, entropy. Understanding these laws of thermodynamics teaches us the vital necessity of self-care and firm boundaries, as cognitive energy is a finite resource that is rapidly consumed. In conclusion, the physics of success provides the undeniable blueprint affirming that success is not merely achieved, but strictly maintained through the disciplined management of energy and entropy. The largest career struggle is constantly fighting the second law, entropy, where your valuable energy is consumed by internal conflict and unnecessary friction, rather than productive growth that matters. The scientific solution is strictly adhering to the first law, conservation. By aggressively increasing energy conversion efficiency and powerfully fighting entropy with continuous investment in integration and profound team trust. Evidence from neurofinance confirms that emotional energy is the most easily leaked resource if it is not vigilantly managed and protected by conscious leadership. Analyzing your organizational output through the unforgiving lens of physics will grant you deep and immediate control over your professional destiny. The single most transformative mindset shift is seeing every action as a transfer of energy within a closed system, possessing measurable consequences that must be constantly accounted for by leadership. Stop viewing effort as an unlimited variable. Instead, begin viewing focus time and team motivation as finite inputs that must be rigorously protected and amplified aggressively. Consciously invest your available energy to create integration and deep cohesion across teams through sincere appreciation, the anti-entropy mechanism, before allocating it to risky external market projects. Understanding the law of entropy means deeply realizing that culture maintenance is just as important as core innovation, because a fractured culture will ultimately consume all achieved financial gains. This intentional energy management is the most strategic leadership action available, ensuring your entire system is genuinely sustainable and resists internal breakdown. Now is the critical time to immediately assume your role as the chief energy engineer of your entire organization. Challenge yourself to identify and permanently resolve one single, long-standing team conflict that is secretly consuming 80% of your team's mental energy, successfully sealing that entropy leak. Remember this profound truth. Entropy works automatically. Integration demands conscious attention and continuous investment, which must be rigorously performed every single day without fail. Use this proven physics framework to transform a chaotic, struggling system into a highly ordered, predictable, and powerfully effective performance machine. Protecting your collective energy is the biggest investment you can make toward enduring innovation and stable market domination. Challenge yourself to rigorously apply one of these two fundamental laws of physics starting tomorrow. Audit your energy inputs for efficiency, Law 1, or tackle one persistent source of team friction, Law 2. If this powerful The Physics of Success guide has truly opened your eyes to the fundamental forces underlying business, please show your deep commitment by immediately hitting the like button.